hosted a session on the future of the workforce with IBM CEO Arvind Krishna. We talked about all the changes that have come from the pandemic. He said at the moment, only 20% of his U.S. employees are at the office for 3 days a week or more. And he doesn't see a scenario where they get back to 60% in the office ever. Remember, this is a company that has 250,000 employees globally. We also talked about how hard it is right now to find workers and how inflation and the labor shortage is pushing wages higher. Listen.
I think that you're going to get an adjustment in wages. We can see that in the past year. I suspect that we will see a decrease in the growth rate, so it'll step down. If I look at inflation, right now we're what, 9%, give and take?
Almost, yeah.
I think it'll come down by the end of the year, maybe early next year. I don't think it'll come down to 2. I think it'll be well above 2.
That's what the Fed wants.
The Fed has put 2 out there as its target state.
So you think we're in for a lot more interest rate hikes and issues?
I think we're in for a period of more sustained inflation than 2%. I think the 2% may come back in 3 years, 4 years, but I think we are going to be above that from now till the end of next year.
So you think we're going to have high inflation with a recession?
I am one of the more optimistic people. How do you really get recession with full employment? So I think we got a different state of things than we've ever had, that we've ever been used to. Normally, when you begin to get high interest rates and high inflation, you also tend to get employment building up, and that's what everybody is that's the hard landing piece, right? So right now, if we have 6 million, 9 million fewer people here than we would like, that means effectively the unemployment part has been taken care of. If we have...
You could have a sharp consumer spending slowdown.
You could. Will it really cause a recession as an unemployment, or will it cause a GDP slowdown? That's the interesting question.
Are you seeing a slowdown in tech spending, in the tech environment?
Not in the B2B space. So if I go back to, if you're a retailer, are you going to do more automation and more automation in your warehouses and inventory? Are you going to do more on supply chain resiliency or less? If you're in pharmaceuticals, are you going to worry about how do you distribute drugs with a cold chain better or worse? If you're in biotech, are you going to worry more about how do you do your next 4 vaccines using computational techniques to come out faster or slower? If you go into banking, are you going to do more personalization around loans or less? So if I look at it, technology, I think, is a real differentiator. The same way as you kind of go through these epochs, right? 1700s, roughly. I'm not a historian, so hold with me if I'm off by a century. Is the Industrial Revolution, which is that I can bring the power to the factory as opposed to the factory has to sit over the river and float logs down using gravity and water. You can go forward then to steam, which was railways and steamships and really global trade, which was 1800s. And we saw the rise of the Western powers. You can go to oil, and that led to mobility as an automobile, and that you could separate and not have to be as polluting as coal. We can fast forward to today's in terms of technology, which is why so much angst around semiconductors. And I would say that these things have shown that they improve human productivity, they improve the quality of life, and the nature of work changes to tie us back to these. So the nature of work keeps changing.
We also talked about some of the cracks that are forming in the technology industry at the moment. Layoffs we've seen, for instance, at Netflix, Robinhood, and a number of crypto firms. He said it's mostly the unprofitable tech companies, but that those companies do have a potential to turn profitable just at lower valuations. He said it's very different if you're trading at 5 times sales than if you go bankrupt, so they need to position for the long term. Perhaps a reason why IBM, for its part, is handily outperforming the market this year. The stock is up more than 7%, while the S&P 500 is down about 20%. And then, John, on another employee issue, I asked, of course, about the court's historic ruling overturning Roe v. Wade and what he is doing for his employees on that.
We don't want to become a political hot potato, so we're not going to make any big public statements. That said, we have always been about giving our employees choice and protecting our employees. I'll go back to 2 simple examples. I don't think there's anything public about these. IBM put in women at equal pay in the 1930s. We had our first women executives in the 1930s. We had our first black executive in the 1940s. In both cases, the women had men working for them. The black executive had non-black people working for them. It wasn't segregated or isolated. We never went out and said any of these things. We gave same-sex benefits in 1994, I believe, good 10, 15 years before same-sex marriage got legalized.
Just because you've always had leaders that have prioritized.
We've always got leaders, so we want to do this for our employees. I'm not sure that we want to make this into becoming the hot button for politicians. Politicians will do what they need to do. And I do encourage our legislation to go get its act together, because that is, I think, where the answer lies. But so we will do what we can to protect our employees, but we're not looking out there to go create it. It's a deeply personal issue, I'll tell you that. These whole topics around, many of these topics are deeply personal to many people. And when you listen to both sides, you do realize that forget is it exactly equal or is it not. But there is a lot of both emotion and fact on both sides.
So that's what I was going to ask, is how you determine as CEO and as a business whether to weigh in on a political issue. Because businesses have struggled. We saw Disney in the debacle with Florida. We've seen Coca-Cola and the voting rights in Georgia. Like, how do you determine which issue to stand up for?
Well, for example, one we did take on was the bathroom bills that North Carolina and Texas were after, I forget, 3, 4, 5 years ago, somewhere in that neighborhood. And we did say that we would have to think about where our employees and future employees are on that basis. That's the only power that companies have. I mean, we do not give any money. We do not give any money to politicians directly. Actually, not to PACs, not to anything. We do speak up on policy issues, but we don't have a checkbook we can use.
Do your employees want that?
But we do have employees.
They want you to speak up, the employees?
Some employees do. Anybody who's deeply, deeply passionate on an issue would want us to speak up. So we took those because we thought that that is the vast majority. If you look at those two bills, for example. So we did speak up. Where it is much more divided, you got to let the political and the judicial system carry its course out. I actually do strongly believe companies and corporations should not try to replace those. Certainly our voice should be heard. So we are willing to make our voice be heard, but voice is through actions as much as through anything else. What do we actually do for our employees? Maybe the most important, and then if people prefer employers like us, it'll speak for itself.
Good window, I thought, John, into the thinking there of a CEO as to whether to make a public statement coming out against something like what we saw from the Supreme Court for it. But instead, he has said it's too divisive. It's too political and it's too emotional on both sides, therefore not a place for IBM to speak up. But of course, they are, like so many other companies that we've been covering in different industries, going to offer the protection via insurance for employees to have reproductive rights and go to other states if they have to travel for abortions. That just the way that one company is thinking about it. But clearly, John, that has made it to the very top of the agenda here at Aspen Ideas about what happens in the midterm elections, what companies are doing about it, and where America goes from here.